Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into the face recognition showdown. We literally interact with faces every single day, but how well do we actually understand the machinery behind recognizing them? Today, we're pitting human biology right up against modern computer software to see who comes out on top. But to really understand this showdown, we have to start with something a little bit absurd. Okay, you know how we humans constantly spot famous faces in the most unexpected, random places? People have legitimately submitted photos of a house that looks suspiciously like a historical dictator, the silhouette of Donald Trump inside a dog's ear, and, no joke, a jelly bean that bears a striking resemblance to Kate Middleton. We even see emotion in inanimate objects, like a happy backpack or a cheerful cheese grater. It's funny, for sure, but it actually reveals something deeply profound about our biology. So, this quirky phenomenon? It's called pareidolia. It's basically where we spot familiar patterns, like faces, in completely random visual data. We don't need a high-definition photograph to see a face. Just give us a few dark patches, roughly where two eyes and a mouth should be, and boom, that is all the visual evidence our brains need to instantly construct a face. We are absolutely biologically hardwired to do this. But how hardwired are we, exactly? Well, just 9 minutes. Research has found that it takes a mere 9 minutes for newborns to show a preference for face-like patterns. If you take a baby who has literally only been in the world for 9 minutes, tests show they will spend significantly more time staring at patterns of dots and dashes that resemble a face rather than looking at similar, random patterns. We practically arrive in the world scanning for faces. And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates the evolutionary drive behind it. Rob Jenkins, a psychologist from the University of York, sums it up perfectly. If there's a face nearby, there's a mind nearby. That's something that can potentially do you a lot of good or harm. For our early ancestors, spotting a face hidden in the brush instantly told them if a friend or a deadly threat was nearby. Our survival quite literally depended on this hyperactive facial recognition system. Now, because we rely so heavily on this, we tend to think of it as a uniquely human trait. But are we humans really so special? Well, science has a funny way of humbling us. Get this. A 2017 Cambridge University study proved that we aren't the only ones with a knack for faces. They discovered that sheep, yes, sheep, actually have the remarkable ability to recognize familiar human faces. The researchers successfully trained these animals to identify specific celebrities from photos. The sheep learned to recognize actor Jake Gyllenhaal, Emma Watson, former U.S. President Barack Obama, and even BBC newsreader Fiona Bruce. So, recognizing a familiar face is actually a biological tool shared across species. But here is the real kicker. While we, and apparently the sheep, are incredibly good at recognizing familiar faces, we have a massive biological blind spot. We walk around feeling super confident, but the reality is we are remarkably worse than we think at identifying completely unfamiliar faces. To put that into perspective, researchers gave people 2 photographs and asked a simple question. Do these show the exact same person? When the face was unknown, the human error rate jumped to a massive 20%. 1 in 5 times, people completely failed the match. So why do we fail so spectacularly? Because with unfamiliar faces, our brains really struggle to filter out the noise. Subtle, everyday differences just completely throw us off. A slight variation in lighting, a change in facial expression, a different makeup style, or just a new hairstyle can severely hamper our recognition skills. If we don't already have a template of that face stored in our memory, our brains easily get tricked by those superficial changes. Which brings us to the ultimate question. And how good are we at recognizing faces compared with machines? We hear so much about AI these days, you'd think the computers have this completely figured out, right? Actually, scratch that. According to BBC technology correspondent Wari Selin-Jones, facial recognition software has been around for a long time, but it has not yet lived up to expectations. Despite all the processing power in the world, computers are currently struggling with the exact same visual puzzle that our biological brains do. The paradox of AI here is honestly fascinating. You'd naturally assume that feeding a machine more data makes it flawless, right? But paradoxically, the more images you ask computers to process, the less accurate they actually tend to be. And the reason? It's because there is just an extraordinary amount of variation in real-world images. Just like lighting and makeup confuse us humans, that massive variation creates immense noise for the AI's training data. So who actually wins in a direct face recognition battle? Psychologist Rob Jenkins lays out the rules for us. If it's a familiar face, bet on the human every single time. Our biology is unmatched there. But if the face is completely unknown to us, we've reached a point where the machine officially has the edge over our 20% human error rate. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Right now, we still hold the crown for recognizing our friends and family. But with technology changing so rapidly, will it be long before we are outperformed entirely by machines? As AI relentlessly improves, how much longer until our evolutionary edge expires for good? It's definitely something to chew on the next time you unlock your phone with your face, or, the next time you see a cheerful face smiling back at you from your cheese grater. Thanks for joining me.